everyone. My name is Max Aguilar. I'm a hypnotherapist. Welcome back to my channel. Today I want to introduce you to a technique, and I'm going to pull you through the process of this technique, and you will be able to enjoy a wonderful NLP technique that I have used for 20 years, absolutely free, here on YouTube, on Rumble, on whatever channel you're experiencing this video on. You can have this technique forever, and let me tell you, this technique is worth $1 million because it gives you confidence when you need it. Think about, you got to go in an interview, or you're going to do a presentation, or you're going to ask for a raise from your boss. You're going to ask someone you really, really care about on a date, or you're really interested in on a date, or any of those scenarios where you need an extra push of power. This technique not only gives you a boost of confidence, but it also puts you in a state where you are in a state of excellence. So you can push through better than you would otherwise. So we're about to do this technique. I'm going to do it with you. Set aside a few minutes. I think it's going to take about 15 minutes at the most. Set aside a few minutes so you can make this happen. Okay, so this NLP technique uses a technique called anchoring at its basis. Anchoring is what happens when your subconscious relates a certain color, smell, item, sound, or texture with a certain memory. That relationship is what makes this work. As an example, I walked in an art store a while back that had a strong smell of crayons and paper. Okay? As soon as I walked in, I started getting a feeling of intimidation or a little bit of fear mixed with excitement. Okay, and the reason why was because it brought back a time when I first went to school in kindergarten, my first day of school. And then every day after, I would go to kindergarten and it would have this smell of crayons. And this feeling of fear was obviously when you first start school, you feel a little bit intimidated and scared. But the excitement was, you know, that whole kindergarten feeling when you're with your friends and you're drawing, you're playing with toys, and you're having a great time. That anchor was so strong that over many, many years, it still has power for me. That smell of crayons and paper. So this is an example of odor being associated with memory. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to create something like that. But first, let me give you a visual example of how this works. So if you would indulge me, set aside a few seconds here and focus on this video. Imagine a lemon being cut in half on a cutting board. Just imagine it in your mind, a beautiful yellow lemon. You're getting a knife and you're just slicing it in half. And when you slice the lemon in half, just imagine the juices leaking out on the cutting board. You pick up the half of the lemon and you squeeze it, and the juices just squirt and ooze out over your hand. And maybe you can imagine just tasting the lemon juice off the tip of your finger. You know, what's it taste like? If by now your mouth isn't watering, then you probably don't have an anchor to lemons, and I would find that extremely odd, but it's possible. Either way, that is actually a visual anchor that triggers your memory of tasting lemon juice and therefore activates your saliva glands. Okay? So this can be very powerful. Now in NLP, anchoring is a process where you purposely create an association that will influence a client in a positive way. What we're going to do today, with your permission of course, is anchor a very positive feeling of power and confidence and excellence so that you can call it up anytime that you need it. Believe me, this technique really works and you will find it very valuable, especially when you're about to step into a situation that requires you to be confident and powerful. So let's give it a try. I need your undivided attention for this now. Okay, first it's important to note that the anchor that you're going to set must be set at precisely the time when the experience that you're recalling is about to reach its peak. So when you're about to get the optimal feeling of excellence and power and confidence, right before you get to that optimal feeling, you need to set the anchor. So what we're going to do is we're about to set the anchor. So just remember that you need to wait just before you feel that feeling peaking, and then we'll set the anchor. Okay. Now think of a color you like and a color you won't forget. Any color will do. Remember that the color you choose is important and it must remain consistent. It really helped me when I used a maroon color or a burgundy color of a car I once owned. It was called Raspberry, I think the color was. And the color was very specific and I was able to visualize it very easily. I had like some metallic specks in it. I can still visualize that color because I remember that car. So think of a color that you can remember easily. Okay, so now you need to stand up for this. While you're standing, look down in front of you and project a circle, probably about that big, enough for you to put your feet into, step into. And in that circle, project that color into that circle. It doesn't have to be perfect, just you knowing that the color is in that circle. That's all that really matters, is that when you project it in exactly the same way in the future, it's going to work for you, okay? So it doesn't have to be perfect, but just that color that you remember, project it in front of you, the color that you decide to choose, project it in front of you in a circle so you can step into it. So make sure that color is strong and clear in your mind, and then visualize that color circle on the floor in front of you. Step into the color circle for a few seconds and then step back out. Okay? Practice making that colored circle on the floor a few more times so that you can quickly reproduce it without effort. This is important. Okay? Just be able to look in front of you and have that color circle in front of you. Just practice it. If you need to stop this video, do so, practice it, and then come back. Okay, now let's recall a time when you felt amazing, when you felt a sense of excellence, an experience where you felt powerful and confident and accomplished. It can be anything. Did you create a piece of artwork that you're so proud of and you won an award for it? Were you riding a mountain bike down a very steep incline and you were totally in control and you felt the exhilaration and the confidence of being able to pull that off? Were you doing anything that made you feel great about yourself? Did you get a black belt in karate? Did any achievement that you made that gives you a sense of confidence? If you don't have a massively great achievement that you don't feel is massively great, choose one, any achievement that you've done that brought a sense of confidence to you. Obviously, the stronger the sense of confidence you got and the stronger the sense of excellence you got is going to work better. But use what you have. Use what you have, okay? So when you find that feeling, start recalling it, okay? Start recalling it. Take your time here. I'm going to pause the video for you to figure out what it is that you are going to experience. Once you decide what that memory is, come back and we'll walk through it, okay? So go ahead and do that. Okay. Now, let's set the anchor right now. So while standing in front of your color circle, close your eyes for a second and just visualize that memory of this wonderful, powerful experience. Think of it, think of what it looked like, okay? Think of what it looked like. Think of the sounds that were there. What temperature was it? What was the weather like, or what was the temperature in the room that you were in? Re-experience the moment when you felt that fantastic, powerful feeling of confidence. If you can think of colors, sounds, smells, anything that was in that situation. Okay, and as you get close to that feeling, as you feel that powerful feeling reaching its peak inside of you, step into your color circle. Open your eyes, look down at your color circle and step into it. Okay, right at that moment. Stand in that color circle and continue to enjoy that wonderful feeling. Now, step back out of the color circle and you should have created an anchor. What we're going to do is we're going to test it in a minute. If you need more time to do this, stop the video. I will be right here, right back to help you go through the testing phase, okay? So stop the video, make sure you get that anchor right. Remember, right before it starts to peak, the feeling, step into that circle. All right. Okay. So now it's time to test your newfound technique. In order to test it, I want you to first think about the last vacation you went on and answer these quick questions. Where was it? Who was there, if anyone? What was your favorite or worst part of it? Okay? Would you go there again? Think about those things. Okay. So now you can put that aside. Those questions were there only to bring you back to the present moment, to another feeling, to away from what we just did. So now look in front of you and recreate that color circle. All right? Step into it and wait. You will begin to feel that feeling of confidence and power come back into your body. So just let it sink in completely. Don't step out of it until you feel that feeling come in completely. Now, if you didn't feel it, then just rewind this video and try the anchoring process again. But you probably should feel it because this is not a really difficult process to do. Okay, so now you can create this color circle anytime you want. You can step into it and recreate the feeling of power and confidence. Do not underestimate the power of this technique. It may not feel like it's making any difference for you in the beginning, but when you step into your interview, when you step into your presentation, when you step into that uncertainty, that intimidating experience, you'll look back and realize, wow, that went a lot easier than I thought. And it's because this technique took effect. Okay? Just remember that you need to use this technique as often as possible in the beginning. Try to use it as much as you can. The more you use it, the more powerful it will become for you, the more the anchor will stay within you forever. Okay? So use it. Wake up in the morning and use it. In the middle of the day, use it. Just feel that feeling come in. Anytime that you need to walk in front of people, anytime that you need to experience anything that might intimidate you, even a little bit, use this technique. The more you use it, the more powerful it will become for you and the more permanent it will become for you. All right, don't forget to subscribe and like this video if you choose to do so. I would really appreciate it. And I will see you next time. Signing off.